In 7 years' time, since Cardano launched, we went from nothing to an 11-figure network with millions of people and the largest research group in the world and the passion of the young people. And in another decade's time, we'll be larger than Ethereum. And in another decade's time, we'll be larger than Bitcoin. And in another decade's time, the majority of governments in the world will run on our infrastructure. So, when people ask you, like, why Cardano? That's why you say it's like, because we're serious. That's why. We want to fucking change the world.
Every once in a while, I feel it's necessary to get on here to remind you why you started in crypto, why this space matters, and the revolution that we're upon. And there is no one better to remind us of that than Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano. And don't forget, guys, when they ask you why Cardano, it's because we're going to change the fucking world. That's why. All right. So I just find it so extraordinary. We're at an inflection point in the industry right now. A lot of people may call me an eternal optimist, but I believe we're on the verge of a massive opportunity yet once again. And I want to come on here and remind you of all those reasons why. Now, when it comes to long-term bags and investments, this was my original thesis when I invested in Cardano originally at just under 5 cents. I thought, I want somebody who has a vision, who thinks big, who's a leader, who can guide teams. When you think about all the long-term holdings and all the places you can park your capital for long-term investments, trying to find those horses in the races, those Amazons, those Ubers, those big companies, well, in this case, cryptos that are going to take us to the next level in society. Who better than to do that with a man like Charles Hoskinson? He's a mathematician and a scientist who actually knows how to articulate himself to the world, and a genius at that, I do believe. I mean, he is so brilliant. And so I think it's very necessary today to just get on here, get a little feel-good vibes, remind us of the bigger picture, and also explain to you why we're on the verge of another massive opportunity for the ADA token itself, the Cardano token, as we could potentially turn 1 Bitcoin into 10 Bitcoin for those of you who want to stack those sats with this next trade, and very long-term thinking. I want to explain why I believe it's possible to get a 65x again like I did over time. Now, this is not some hopium to get you guys to think that you're going to invest tonight and tomorrow it's going to turn into hundreds of thousands and millions. No, but I want to set the record straight. I want to paint this picture for you so you understand long-term where we're headed, not just with the Cardano, but with the world and blockchain and how we have a chance to get it right this time, as Charles Hoskinson so eloquently says. So I will be showing you a chart with Trip from Capital Mindset on the ADA versus Bitcoin chart that will blow your mind, and as well as the log scale that shows where Cardano could be headed long term, which is a massive opportunity. And maybe that's the kind of long-term big thinking we need in this space to achieve what we want to achieve. So to all you Cardano fans, crypto curious, and people who are just looking for a little bit of hope and optimism among all the extreme fear and weirdness going on in the market right now, I'd like to toast to all of you for a happy Friday, for what's to come, and all that we've achieved up until now. Remember, when this space started, we were on the fringes of society, the crypto cowboys, the misfits, the underdogs, the ones that just didn't have a place in the world. Then we grew and slowly started getting traction, slowly started getting integrations, started growing our user base, until now, we're actually Wall Street and institutions are adopting this amazing technology, and we are actually changing the world. It's been an incredible journey, and I can't wait for the years to come. So on that note, I'd like to cheers all of you for this happy Friday with ATH vodka. I cannot wait to tell you guys more about the crypto play here, but for now, I'm just gonna have a cocktail. This is the lychee raspberry flavor, one of my favorites. I am having an ATH lychee raspberry and soda cocktail. So cheers, guys. I'm your host, Megan Nilsson, aka Crypto Megan, coming to you from sunny southern Marbella, Spain, and let's dive right into it. All right, so here it is, the man with the vision, guys. Hoskinson predicts Cardano will overtake Bitcoin and Ethereum as the world's largest crypto. I just like to start out with that because, like I said in the intro, where better to park your money than with a man with a vision? There are so many projects in this space that aren't transparent, that aren't clear, their intentions aren't clear. It's kind of hard to understand where they're at, but Charles Hoskinson just puts it all out there, and love it or hate it, the project itself, I mean, the vision is there. He's a very, very smart man. He's getting things done. He's working his way into Capitol Hill, into the government. Cardano made it into the reserve list. What else they're bringing DeFi to Bitcoin. So many things are happening, but these things take time and they're methodical and they can be slow. And a lot of people don't like that because they want to make those gains, which I understand. But now I think we're on the verge of the opportunity to be able to do both once again after lying pretty dormant for a while, which I'll explain at the end of the episode with some charts from Capital Mindset that you're going to love. So stay tuned. But I want to play another motivational clip because it's just that kind of Friday from Charles Hoskinson to get you to remember why we started in the first place, why we're involved in this revolution, because it's you and I and everybody combined, this collective effort that will actually change the world. So let's have a listen.
We must never forget the reason why cryptocurrencies exist is so that we no longer need governments. We can transcend them. That, my friends, is why we're really here and what we're really doing. Policy helps us get there, but ultimately we have to make a decision. What do we believe in? Do we like what we have, or do we want to change?
I get the chills every time I listen to this man. I mean, it's got to be a thing. Let me know in the comments if you do too, if this really gets to you, or if it's just me. Because it's like we have to decide. Policy is important for the very reason that we need some sort of regulatory framework so we don't have to build in the dark. But ultimately, we have to make a decision, and we've made a decision. All you, me, and everybody in the crypto world has made a decision that we don't like the way things were done in the old world. We want to be a part of this new innovative technology, which you're going to hear now from another clip from Charles Hoskinson as to what we can accomplish now. We've decided to make a change. We've decided to do things differently than we have for the past century. And it's never an easy process. It's never straight up. It's never without its challenges. But we have to keep going, and we have to keep pushing. And this man has that vision, and I want to ride that wave with him, guys. I want to ride the Cardano wave, and there's a big wave coming at that. So we can transcend governments now. We can transcend people problems, and we can be transparent, and we can be ethical, and we can be all of those things while providing value at the same time. So Cardano ADA will be one of the top 3 cryptocurrencies by market cap this cycle. Do you agree or disagree? Is it possible? And I do want to state that market cap is kind of not really such a thing as people make it out to be in crypto. It's kind of artificial because there are a lot of factors involved as to circulating supply, how much is staked, how much is available on exchanges. If there's a huge demand at any given time and there's not enough supply, I mean, that can inflate the price quite high. Now that is not sustainable over time, which is why we have these volatile swings. But as we grow bigger and bigger as a whole, crypto will be less and less volatile. But that also means that there will be less opportunity. So man, to me, it's like you're coming in when crypto is starting to mature, if you're coming now. And if you've been here for years, then you're finally witnessing the real adoption of this technology. And it's a special time indeed. Let me know also in the comments if you think Cardano will be in the top 3 this cycle. Is it possible? Now, this is one of the last clips I'll play motivation-wise, but I just want to instill in you why I believe he is one of the visionaries of our time and one of the greatest leaders in crypto, and that we need this kind of energy in our space. As Charles Hoskinson puts it, we need to put on our big boy pants and, graduate and go to the big leagues. And how do we get there? We get there through great leadership who can steer and guide the boat, not be the person that controls it all and is at the top, but rather, the one that kind of reins us all in, reels us all in and says, hey guys, remember why we started, remember what we're fighting for, remember all that we've accomplished and where we're heading, kind of just to make us zoom out and see the bigger picture. So let's have a listen.
Promises us that there is a way to solve the problems of the future, whatever they may be. And in the past, how we've always solved it is go find an empire to go clean it up. Let them rule the world for a century or two. If you're in the in crowd, it's a good life. And for everybody else, so sorry, maybe you'll have the turn next. I don't want to live in that world anymore, and I don't think you do either. I'd like to live in a world where everyone is treated fairly. Everyone is treated with honesty and respect and dignity, transparency. These are basic things. We put them in constitutions. We put them in laws. We promise each other we'll treat each other this way. But you know what happens? Humans happen. And while the individual may be virtuous, the collective, somehow, some way, if left unrestrained and unrestricted, they sometimes have problems. The magic of this industry is that we can create almost an artificial law of physics for society. We can take the rights that we believe that we have earned and should have, that we should be born with, and we can put it into a blockchain. And then suddenly people can't cheat. The most powerful way of demonstrating that is what Bitcoin accomplished. You see, all these monetary systems, they say, oh, well, no, they have rules and predictability, and we won't intervene until we do. Then suddenly this thing comes out that promises 21 million. That's it. Can't change it, can't reverse it. These are the rules, regardless of the circumstances. Then you see Silk Road happen, Mt. Gox happen. You see dozens of massive issues happen. You see nation states get involved and yell at it. Has it changed once? No. You can take those concepts and principles and put them into social systems that secure your vote, your voice, your dignity as a person. No matter who's on top, you're going to be treated fairly. That's the unifying theme, despite all the tribalism and the sectarianism and the fights that we've noticed keeps us together, is that we just want to be treated better. We just want institutions that don't lie to us. We just want predictability. We just want to live in a world that's peaceful instead of one that's filled with chaos. And what do you arm them with? You arm them with knowledge and tools and capabilities. You first have to convince them that they have a lot of power collectively and individually. You have to give them the ability to think about how they want to live their lives. They have to give them things that they can give to others. No one wants to live in a corrupt place. No one wants to live in a place of hopelessness and will never get there. So guess what? Give collectively billions of people those kinds of tools, and they're going to have a revolution.
Hence why I believe that this man is an incredible leader, not necessarily just of Cardano or the Cardano Foundation, but of helping us navigate this revolution. He's saying that all the people who are educating, pouring their time and energy and everything into this space, now we have to help arm people with knowledge, with tools to help them understand their power, that collectively we can change the way things are done. And that suddenly when you give billions of people those type of tools, we can truly have a revolution. And that is a big idea. As Charles Hoskinson so infamously put it, we will go from a world of don't be evil to can't be evil. And it's truly amazing, guys. It's truly amazing. So hope you enjoyed that clip. And now we're going to go through some highlights before we get to the Cardano charts, which I promise we will, of what has happened all in this past year and the year before. So big news for ADA, Cardano will transition to fully decentralized governance. The first of its kind, ADA holders now have real voting power on blockchain decisions such as parameter changes, treasury withdrawals, and more. Charles Hoskinson has now passed the baton to the people, and it's live, guys. It's live, and it's really special to see. Now that we have governance moving along really well, this year I'm going to focus deeply on three big themes for Cardano. Bitcoin DeFi on Cardano. Market is 4 times the size of Ethereum and Solana combined, hence why I asked if you believe Cardano can be among the top 3 market caps this cycle. 24/7 work on scalability, including Laos, making Cardano a peninsula, not an island. Integrations. Already got a meeting with Chainlink on the books, stablecoins. Next, let's fucking go 2025. That's your man, Charles Hoskinson. Pretty cool. And also another thing I think about when I try to plan out my long-term investments, and what I originally had thought when I first invested in Cardano was, the way of the leadership and how things are run. You see, Bitcoin has nobody at the helm. The rules don't change, and there's no one person governing what's happening. But it is interesting that a lot of projects choose to go down certain paths that aren't necessarily the best long-term for the chain, and Charles Hoskinson is making a little bit of a remark about that here. Let's listen to the dig.
I mean, let's be honest here. The vast majority of VCs, let's just be honest, the way they approach it is liquidity. So they say, when is the token coming out? Where's the marketplace for the token going to be? Do I get an early distribution? How do I exit that early distribution when the retail people come in? And you've seen numerous layer ones and dApps, we won't name names, where they launch to market at a very high valuation. The insiders dump, they go down, and they walk away with a lot of money.
So this does happen in the space a lot. And it's just nice to know that there are people who are trying to do things differently and trying to create longevity. Now, I'm not here to like cast aspersions or look down on any of the projects or doing things any one certain way. But as an investor and somebody who wants to see the longevity and believes in that long-term vision, I like what he's doing and I like the way he's thinking. The Cardano network will be able to sign Bitcoin transactions while using the now U.S. Treasury Reserve asset ADA, ooh, big, U.S. Treasury Reserve asset as the gas fee. Simply put, Bitcoin users will be able to transact 100% with Bitcoin, but it uses ADA under the hood too. Everybody wins, spread the news. This is big, and this was very big when it was announced. We're still, watching that unfold. He will actually do a live demonstration in Bitcoin Vegas. If you guys are going to be going to Bitcoin Vegas, I'll be going there. I'm going to do a very big party. I'd love for all of you guys to join me. So my link is in the description below to get 10% off the tickets. I can't wait for Bitcoin Vegas, and I can't wait to see all you guys there. Let me know if you're going to be there as well. I'd love to invite you to my party as part of the crypto making community. So then we have Yago. Bitcoiners don't know what it's like yet to borrow against their Bitcoin without trusting middlemen. See, and that's another issue here in blockchain is it's not completely trustless. A lot of times we'll have to have these bridges that have, they're centralized or we have to rely on middlemen for transactions. So this is a huge opportunity for Cardano. With both, the community can wrap back in time and sell DeFi to the Bitcoin masses like they've just discovered fire. Big imagine the 1.3 trillion when this was launched and now $2 trillion in liquidity potentially coming through the Cardano chain. Okay. And this was just what I was telling you before. Founder Charles Hoskinson reveals Cardano will have an integration demo live at Bitcoin Vegas. Let's all be there for that, guys. And finally, don't let the political celebration make you forget that Bose might 40x Cardano's TVL in just a few months. So that is what I'm saying. Like these valuations, these market caps, these prices, it's hard to give a crypto price prediction because so many factors can influence them. And it's not just so black and white as what is the market cap. Okay, that's just what I want you to get in your head. And that's why I fully believe that doing 65x like I did this past cycle is completely possible for Cardano again. It's just a question of when, but I actually truly believe so, especially now where we sit for Cardano's price at just under 75 cents. We're bouncing off the 200-day moving average quite nicely and holding a support, and it's looking good. And also looks like Grayscale may be accumulating more Cardano. The chances of the ADA ETF have jumped from 20 to 70%. Is the much anticipated ADA ETF coming soon? Polymarkets don't lie. I mean, they predicted the election. I feel like Polymarket is really the pulse of the people. And this is cool to see because this may be hinting at that Cardano ETF coming sooner rather than later. And just in, digital asset giant Grayscale, managing over 60 billion in assets, is making a big bet on Cardano, further cementing Cardano's ADA status among institutional grade assets. Wow. Grayscale boosts Cardano's future with major ETF proposal and token acquisition. Pretty incredible. Grayscale's $2 billion investment in ETF filing for Cardano could boost institutional interest, drive ADA's market growth, and transform its future, pending approval from the SEC. And here we are at 75 cents, building market structure upon old market structure and upon old support, and it's a phenomenal opportunity in my opinion. Newsflash, Cardano ADA will play a key role in the crypto strategic reserve in U.S. government. Cardano is best suited for academic credentialing, smart contracts for government services, and secure infrastructure management. Secure. The chain has never been down. Cardano is best suited for academic credentialing, smart contracts for government services, and secure infrastructure management. The chain has never been down. And Charles has talked a lot about this and prides himself on the fact that the security of Cardano has never been compromised, okay? So clarification on Donald Trump's Bitcoin reserve statement and crypto strategy. So here you see Cardano clarifying the roles of different cryptos. Cardano best suited for academic credentialing. So that's where they got this from. Strategic takeaway. Solana and Cardano should be integrated into U.S. digital infrastructure. Interesting. And finally, the Cardano Foundation has been doing a lot in Japan. Actually, Cardano started in Japan in 2015, and they are going back to their roots. And founder Charles Hoskinson meets with Japanese politician Takuya Hirai, the former first minister for digital affairs. Charles says it was a great meeting. We discussed digital transformation, zero knowledge cryptography, blockchain, and AI. They're looking to do a lot. So this man is not sitting there, talking about price go up, things like that. I mean, he's out there making world partnerships with government agencies, big stuff. And I know that on one of the spaces I hosted with him, it was a fireside chat, he said back then that he could make the American election system look like a toy with the Cardano. And I love the vision, and I see it, and he's out there doing it. So it's really fun to see. Now we're going to get into the juicy stuff for all you guys that want to know about price predictions. Where could Cardano head? Now we get into the exciting stuff. Cardano ADA friends, I believe we are ready to explode. All the years of hard work will pay off. Here we have cycle 1, cycle 2, which went from, just under 5 cents all the way up to over $3. And now here we are again, what I was telling you before, building on top of critical market structure. And we have a new higher base than before. And that's the point of these cycles, is that we get higher and higher bases that form over time, and we build on that. So it's looking very, very bullish. And just to jump into this really quickly, Bitcoin seems to be holding up on the CME chart above the 1-day 200 MA. There's also CME gap up here around $85,000 to $86,000. And it's starting to fill that gap as we speak, I believe. And here's a chart from Capital Mindset. The Bitcoin 1-hour chart is just broken above this ascending triangle, above that area of $84,100. The measured moves of $86,000, $88,674, and $91,500. Let's see what happens to Bitcoin. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. First up, we're going to show you the chart with Trip, the lead analyst from Capital Mindset Trading Group, about the Bitcoin trade of the year that shows that you could potentially turn 1 Bitcoin into 10 Bitcoin for those of you who want to stack those sats. All right, so now we have a very interesting chart, once again, from the lead analyst Trip at the Capital Mindset. We love the charts from Capital Mindset, and we're giving you a little bit of juice for those of you who aren't members to give you a taste of what you could be getting in the group. There's a link to the group in the description below, so do sign up to that if you want to get prepared for these next explosive moves that are coming. But for right now, we're going to go over the ADA BTC chart because it's a very interesting one. Trip, welcome to the show.
Hey, Megan. Thank you. How are you?
Good. We're excited for this one. Actually, we were talking before the show about some pretty interesting predictions just based on this chart alone. So I'll let you get right into it.
Okay, great. Yeah, this is ADA on the BTC pair. So this is a 5-day chart. It's really zoomed out. And as you can see, we've got something forming on the right-hand side over here that looks almost identical to what we saw during the 2019 to 2021 consolidation phase for ADA on the BTC pair. So after this took off in the last cycle, we're going to measure this move here just to get an idea of what we could expect as potentially this is just a minimum of 324%. And we're going to measure that move over here. We're just going to aim for this resistance. If we get a breakout of this inverse head and shoulders, same as this side, we could be looking at another move to this resistance. This is a little better profit at around 420%.
So now it's time to jump into the last chart that shows on the log scale over time that Cardano could actually hit up to $75. So don't get mad at me in the comments. This is over time, but I want you guys just to understand what's possible, zoom out, and have that long-term mentality. Let's check it out. Wow, so we're looking at a 4x plus move on the ADA versus Bitcoin chart. I know all you ADA gang, all you Cardano lovers are going to eat this chart up. I mean, this is really, really interesting. And how long of a time frame are we looking at? This is a higher time frame chart. So
Oh, yeah, for ADA. So for the BTC pair, it's really kind of hard to estimate how long this could be. If Bitcoin's in a super cycle, we could see this continue on beyond just this level. So if we were just shooting for this resistance alone, and this is a small number when it's divided in Bitcoin, so 0.00005940 at the main resistance here, that could be done probably within maybe a year or two. So again, like, it's tough to really see how long this cycle is going to last. But if it's a normal cycle for Bitcoin, I could say that maybe within a year we could see at least this target.
Wow.
But something longer term, yeah, this is definitely going to take maybe, we're going to estimate from 2025 up to maybe 2027. But then again, if you look at the XRP chart, that thing exploded and had almost the same kind of structure on its USDT pair chart. And that thing took off instantly. It was at the max target within just a matter of a couple of weeks, I think, is all it took. So it's hard to really guesstimate how fast something can move when it gets going.
Right. But so the XRP chart proved that this kind of chart can make those moves, right? Because it did happen.
Yeah, exactly. So nobody expected it. But if you zoomed out at XRP, you had the same structure here where it was a double bottom on a really high time frame. So now we have proof that these things can actually play out and it's possible. Mind you, it's going to take some kind of probably something above average news, right? So it's going to take something to make that splash for that to happen.
Right. And we just got done talking about on the show how Charles Hoskinson has been in and out of the White House all year. There's a 70% chance on Polymarkets that Cardano will see an ETF this year. Also, there was the news that Cardano is going to be the DeFi layer for Bitcoin, essentially. So there's a lot of things in the works that could potentially be a catalyst for this to break out. And just to put it into perspective, so if you put one Bitcoin in the beginning or the bottom of this trade here, how much could that turn into potentially?
If you got in exactly where it is now, let's measure. So yeah, you're at the 1,000% mark, pretty much within this range. So I don't want to read these numbers off; they're so small. But 0.000943 is about the level you'd be looking at to get those 10x gains. So one Bitcoin would turn into 10 Bitcoin if it was converted into ADA during this move.
Wow. That's pretty powerful stuff. I know all the people in Cardano are going to be excited about this because it's been a long time coming. It's been a long consolidation here for Cardano, and there's very interesting things happening. So that's powerful. This is a very exciting chart. We have so many more like this in the Capital Mindset, where Trip is picking out the absolute best setups for you guys. So do not hesitate to join. Now is the absolute best time to join, to put your head down, to get laser focused, and to learn these skills. And even if you don't want to learn to trade, or you just want the basics, Trip is posting this kind of stuff constantly. So you can just understand where we're at and where is a generally good time to get in, even if you're a long-term or swing trade investor. And it's really exciting. So this is great, Trip. Thank you so much for providing these charts. And we're going to call you again soon for potentially some more good-looking charts, because we like to give the audience extra value here. And of course, we give this to our members. So yeah, thanks again.
No worries. Thank you again.
So now it's time to jump into the last chart that shows on the log scale over time that Cardano could actually hit up to $75. So don't get mad at me in the comments. This is over time, but I want you guys just to understand what's possible, zoom out, and have that long-term mentality. Let's check it out.
This is the log scale for ADA. Actually, I'm going to start with the linear scale first, just so you can see the difference. Try to adjust it here to get a good view. Right, so we had basically this inverse head and shoulders. It's kind of on an angle. If you were to measure from the top down to the bottom and use that as your measured move and pull this up to the top, this is how far it goes. Right, even if you start over here on the right where the actual breakout was, it doesn't really do much difference. This is only at about 30 cents. Right. So now we're going to turn on the log scale and we're going to look at the same chart and we're going to measure the same way. So if you pulled from this high down to the bottom for the measured move, and then measured this up to the top, you can see we're remarkably closer. So you would have missed out on exponential gains if you were just using the linear scale chart. But if you turned on log scale, you would have caught, 80% of that move at least.
Right. So now that we have the log scale up, let's project the same thing we did for XRP for Cardano this cycle.
Okay, this one, yeah, again, you're starting into crazy numbers here.
Yeah.
And I start to doubt it. Well, I don't know how long you can keep doing this log scale thing for. Like when you're a smaller coin, you do bigger jumps. So
Yeah.
as you get higher and higher in price, I don't know if those jumps are going to be the same. So
Right.
we might have to use the same idea before as XLM and use the 1.618 as our next target as being the max target. So that's $75 ADA.
Wow.
I don't know if it's real, but yeah, this is just like repeating what we did before and what you would have missed out on. This could be another one of those scenarios.
It could be. And maybe there's some kind of diminishing return element as it gets bigger, as you said, but still it reflects the potential for exponential growth.
Definitely. Like people could even be calling these things, we'll go to a weekly chart. And some traders would just call this a bull flag.
Right. Wow. Right? Yeah.
Big
and this is why I like your charts, because you're able to conceptualize and visualize things a little bit differently. And it's not crystal ball. It's not that this is what's going to happen. It just can give us an idea of what's possible and how to formulate short-term entries and sell points, mid-term, long-term, and potentially exponential. All right, so I hope you liked it as much as I did. As you know, I am very bullish on Cardano. I have been holding Cardano, one of my first investments in cryptocurrency, my first heavier investments. I'm very excited about what's happening there, and we just needed a little bit of feel-good vibes on this Friday for what's to come. Despite the rocky road that we've been through, there is light at the end of the tunnel. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you tomorrow.